Hey everyone, my name is Prakash. I am the head of product of Xano. So a couple months ago, we did a video on how you display data from an external API in Webflow. Today, we're going to cover the second part, which is instead of getting a list view back, you're going to be able to click through that list view and get the single item view. So this has been greatly requested, and so we're going to cover all that information today. So a couple notes here. We're going to basically go through a quick recap of how we did this and got this list view. And then we're going to go over the details of how you set up Webflow for this single item view. We're then going to review the JavaScript just like we did last time. And then, yeah, we'll just talk a little bit about what's coming up next. So if you like this video, I'm going to ask you that you subscribe and like because that helps the YouTube algorithm help other people like you find this awesome content. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see, we have a Webflow site, and we're going to put the link to this site or this template below so you can clone it and try it out yourself. But basically, all of this data that you're seeing here is being fed by a Xano API. So Xano, if you don't know, it's the fastest way to build your backend without code. But you could really use any API. And in that first video, I show you how to swap out a Xano API for any API that you want. So I would recommend checking that out if you don't plan on using Xano. But if you do, all you really need is two endpoints. You need a list view, like you're seeing here, a list of items, in this case, restaurants. And then you need a single item view, right? And so we'll show you what that looks like in Xano in a minute. Let's go through the Webflow setup. So if I go into Webflow here, this is the list view page, and if you're copying this template, you basically use the home one, and if you go over here, we basically created a container, right? And that container had this ID called cards container, and then within that container, we had a sample card, which we basically used to style all of the results coming in. So if I remove this real quick, you can see that this is the template that the API uses or JavaScript uses on Webflow side to take all the data coming from Webflow to style it and display the restaurant information. So let me go ahead and hide that again. So the result of this was basically showing all of these restaurants. Now you'll also see that I can click on any one of these restaurants and I'm getting the single item view. So how does that happen? So let's review the JavaScript. I'm going to close this tab. I'm going to review the JavaScript of how the list view is created. So if I click here, this is the script that that basically powers that page. Again, the link to this JavaScript and the one we're going to review is all below in the information. So you're going to have everything that you need. But just to review what's happening is we basically take this list view, we get the restaurants in a function, and I covered this in detail in the previous video. We then take all of the data that we're getting and we basically do what's called a for loop. So we loop through each one of the elements and we call it restaurant, and then we basically load all of the data, like the image and the title of the restaurant and the description, into different elements on the page. But most notably, on line 47 to 49, we have this click handler. And what this does is it says, when you click a card, what you're going to do is you're going to change the location of the browser to /item $ID equals and then the restaurant ID. Okay, so if you're not following, let me kind of tell you and break down exactly what's happening here. This basically just tells Webflow, go ahead and change the page. That's no problem. What page do you want it to change it to? /item. So if I go to Webflow and if I go to this page and I click on the single item, I can see that the slug is called item. So if I change this to page, then in the JavaScript, what I would need to do is say /page instead, right? So that's all I'm doing. I'm saying change the page to the single item page, and it's another page that I call single item page, but the slug, that's the important part, is called item, okay? So now what we're doing is we're saying question mark, and whenever you see a question mark at the end of a URL, like in this is the URL stored here, that's when you're putting in what we call query parameters. So these are parameters that you can pass from one page to another. And in this case, I'm doing a custom one called ID. This is something that I'm just making up. I'm calling it ID, but you can call it anything that you want. And then after I specify this change, I'm then hitting plus or adding a plus, and then I say restaurant.id. Okay, so just to give you a refresher on where this restaurant.id comes from, in Xano, we basically use this get restaurant, and you'll see this in video 1. But when I run this, I get this response of all the different restaurants, right? So I have I have Bold BBQ, I have this Taqueria Azteca here, and this is ID 2, and that's ID 3. So what the JavaScript is doing here is it's saying for each for each item you're getting back from the API, call it restaurant, and restaurant.id is restaurant.id here. So this would be ID 2, ID 3. So what we're doing is we're basically specifying that when you click this item, store the ID in this URL that says /item ID equals and then whatever restaurant the card represents. So if I go to this page, this one here, Bold BBQ, I can see from this response would be ID number 2. Okay, so if that was a little confusing, maybe watch that section back, but all you need to know is that each one of these API results has an ID associated with it, and we're telling Webflow, when you click this, put this in a query parameter called ID and pass it to the next page. Okay, so now I'm going to click on this Bold BBQ, and you're going to see, you see this /item ID equals 2, so it passes it to the next page to load the information. And so now let's go to the next page where we're loading this single item. So here in Webflow, let's go back to the single item page. So I'm going to click on it, and let me just make sure that actually changed. So I want this one. Okay, here we go. So you can see that there's the restaurant name, there's the image, and then there is a paragraph, right? And then there's also a link to go to back to all restaurants. So let me walk through each thing. So this one, back to all restaurants, this is nothing more than a simple link that takes you back to the list view. Nothing fancy here at all. Then I have basically a container, just like I did on my previous page. And if I look in the settings, I can say this is called item container. In the previous list view, I called it cards container. Remember, this isn't important. You can call it anything that you want. You just have to remember what you call it. So I'm calling it item container. That is the container for what the API is going to be injected into. Then I have another element, another div here, this item. And remember, I can get to these things by just clicking here and adding an element and adding a container or a div block. So I added one called item. And in this item, I called this ID sample style. Now remember, I could have called that anything that I wanted. I called it sample style. And then I added an H1, which was the restaurant name, the image, which is the image of the restaurant, and then the paragraph, okay? So I added all these things, and I basically want to say that when the result comes in, style it exactly the way that I've shown it here, okay? So now that this is all here, I can then go to the JavaScript on this page to show you what's happening. So now I'm going to open up the code for just this single item. Again, I'm introducing this, or what I will do is I will have this all in the description below. So this is the JavaScript for the single item page. So let me walk through how this works. So what we're doing is we're taking the URL, which is basically what you're seeing here, this URL, and we're defining it as my URL. Then what we're going to do is we're going to create a new variable called myParam, or my parameter, and we're basically going to go and strip out whatever the ID is, and we're going to get that value. So this line of JavaScript is saying, create a variable called myParam, look for the thing ID, and take whatever number this is and store it as myParam. Okay, so that's what this whole line is saying. Now you're going to see this double line and then 1. This just means if you don't find anything, just use 1. Okay, so we're saying that the default value, if I come here with no parameter, it's just going to use the ID 1. Okay, so then what we're doing is this XML HTTP request. All you need to know is that that's an API request. And then we're going to use the Xano URL, this restaurant, and we're going to add the parameter. So now let's go into Xano, and I'll show you how that works. So what I just ran here in Xano, I did get restaurant, right? So I went to get restaurant, and I pressed this play button, and I got all of the restaurants back. But there is another API endpoint that gets a single item, and that's the get restaurant / restaurant ID. So I'm going to click that, right? And so now when I run this, right, and let me do the restaurant ID too, because I know that's Bull BBQ, and I run this back, I can see that I'm getting all of the information for just this one restaurant, right? So what we've done here is we've taken what we call the base URL. So this is basically the link or the URL that gives you access to all of these API endpoints, and we've pasted it right here. So this is the base URL / restaurant. So what we're doing is we're going to / restaurant here, / and then we need a restaurant ID, and that's what we're loading in as my parameter. So we're taking that ID and we're appending it to the end of this URL, okay? So now, next what we're doing is we're basically saying that this is a get API request. We're transforming this into a string, something that's readable, and then we're saying when the page loads, go ahead and run this API request. And if the request is successful, that's 200. That means it's successful, and it's not unsuccessful. Then, instead of the for loop that we did on the last page, we're going to say in item container, or create a variable called item container, and that is your item container here. So this JavaScript is saying, if everything goes well, create a variable called item container, which is this thing right over here, right? And that it stores that, right? And so then the next thing that we're going to do is like, okay, now that we have item container, take the item itself and load up the style. So this is basically saying, okay, so you're storing this as a variable, then you're going to store the item itself, and we're calling this sample style. We're getting this container, and that is being loaded over here. So now that we have these two items, item container and item, now it's starting to build what the body of the request is. It's saying, look at the image, or take the image and find anything that's an image, right, within item. You see how item is defined here? So look in that item container, which is this item over here, item, and find the image, right? So this image, and then what you're going to do, replace the source of that image with the API data that's coming back. And then what we're actually doing, this is something that you can do special in Xano. You can say that I want to define how it's presented. I want to show the image as a box. If you're not using Xano, I would just remove this entirely. But this is a special feature that you get to make sure that everything is sized the same way, okay? So the second thing that we're going to do is inside that item, we're basically going to replace the H1 with the name that's coming in. So remember, banner URL name coming from this response over here. If I went to this get restaurant, and again, I changed this to number 2, I'm going to hit run. I can see that the name is Bull BBQ, that's the name, and then banner.url is the link, or is the URL to the image that's coming through, okay? So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, so I've talked about these two, then I'm going to take the paragraph tag, and then I'm going to inject it with the description, and I'm going to limit it to 240 characters, okay? Then what I'm doing is I'm taking that item container, I'm putting the item in there, and I'm running basically this entire command. So I'm saying all of the elements were in there, take the style, and inject the image, inject the title, and inject the description, okay? And then at the end, we're just sending it. That's it. So if you've never used JavaScript before, I'm sure that was complicated, but all you need to know is that it's running the request, and it's taking the API, and it's injecting it to the template that we set up. So yeah, now that we're here, we have all of the containers here. Remember, this is the H1 that it's using, the image, which is the banner, and the paragraph. Now we're good. So if you publish and save this, this is how we're able to get here. So when I click, for example, on any one of these items, I can see the item that I just clicked on, the title, the image banner, and then also the description, okay? So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments, and we'll get back to you. And so that's all pretty cool. The next thing that we're going to cover in the next video is an example with APIs with filters. So here's one where it's showing all different types. But for example, let's say I just wanted to look at Italian food. Then it filters it down on just that list. Italian and Japanese, it reorders the list. we'll show you how to get that done in the next one. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.